What's going on in the big old world today, people? I'm going to bring you the latest and greatest, and welcome to the Jamie Hicks Show. And today on the chopping block, we got the Maytag Building, CLE Red, M&H Zinc, Carus Chemical, and Kaskaskia Development, and the mayor's lies that he told in 318. And then we'll get into months later how the story changes and the dates changes of when the end of the contract is. Now, people, the bullshit's getting deep around here. So what we need to do is make change, and change comes from you and me. Eric Dyas brought up about 801. Eric, Andy has a little update for you on that. Is Andy there? Yeah. Yeah. Andy walked through with Alderman Tack last week, 801 First Street, to kind of find out what's going on there.
Yeah, got a hold of the project manager for that particular place. Probably the third or fourth time they've been in there in the last 2 or 3 months. But I just wanted to follow up. All the roughing is done in the upstairs. That's plumbing, electrical, HVAC. It's framed up. The downstairs, all the plumbing is done on the downstairs, other than the concrete floor. He did start off the project by showing, or the tour by showing us all the improvements that were done for the structural integrity of the building. So that looks to be finished as far as I see. New roof was put on. So there has been a lot of work. He did tell me, he just says, I do what they tell me. If they say switch to working on the outside now, which he did say was going to happen, he's going to switch to working on the outside. So I have talked to contractors who are lined up to do other things there. So I think it's moving along. As far as what the contract between the city and them calls for, I don't know those exact dates. That's something you guys would probably know, but I did ask the contractor if drywalling and the finishing touches on the upstairs could be done by April 30th, and he felt there was no problem. Don't know what other type of delays might be in there, but they're much further along than the last.
So just a reminder, our agreement is April 30th, and is for the upstairs to basically be ready to be rented out for a little bit of space. The downstairs, obviously, we're not expecting them to build it out because we don't know, it depends on who's using it, right? Who wants it, as far as build up. So I just want to make sure that was brought up by you, and I just wanted to do there because work. Sometimes we're not seeing it because it's on the inside. So I'll get the same question as well.
So let me continue with my statement. My name is Jeff Grove. I'm the mayor of the City of LaSalle. I want to give a statement. This is my position and does not necessarily represent that of the city council members. Some aldermen may share my position, maybe all. That is for them to tell. Last Thursday, May 9th, marked the last day of the agreement between the City of LaSalle and the CL Group in regards to 801, 805 First Street. The agreement was entered into on January 9th, 2023. Obviously, I'm disappointed that this project is not completed. In late 2022, the city hired outside counsel to direct us on how to handle the lack of progress by CL on a building in the center of LaSalle's business district. First step was to come up with an agreement with CL to give the developer an opportunity to complete the project. In good faith, the city entered into this agreement. I was cautiously optimistic. The city offered financial incentives to go into effect after completion. The main point of that is everyone needs to realize it was after the completion of the project. And again, it would be paid back through taxes from the real estate. And this is all part of the agreement. I was disappointed that no representative from CL reached out to the city to give a courtesy heads up that the project at 801, 805 First Street would not be completed by 5/9/24, but they took the time to answer an inquiry from the newspaper. It is convenient that initially I am being told that Carus Chemical and CL are separate entities. Now an excuse in the newspaper stated that the delay is because of the Carus fire. I find it interesting that Carus Chemical is already rebuilding their assets lost in the fire, but cannot finish 801, 805 First Street. We have developers in the city that have finished projects and are currently doing projects that started before and after we had the agreement 16 months ago with CL. Thank you, Mike Bird, Luke Biden, and David Cooley, to say a couple of them, for doing it the right way. Carus Chemical is already rebuilding their assets lost in the fire, but cannot finish 801, 805 First Street. Now that the agreement is over, it's time to move to the next option, in my opinion. You'll see from pictures from our city building inspector and city engineer who went through on Friday, I believe, that this building is far, far from being finished. I do not blame Mr. Fox. We met last week. I do not Wayne Raphael, who's been kind of this on-site manager. The responsibility falls on the shoulders of Peter Limberg, in my opinion. He's the one who's responsible for financing the project. I believe the city should move forward in the courts to get control of the building and find a developer to fix it. No more extensions, no more excuses. I, along with many constituents and visitors, get sick to my stomach every time I drive by 801, 805 First Street. Thank you. Again, this is just my opinion. It's going to be up to the council to decide what they want to do, but I think enough's enough. And you know what I look at is we learn how to do this with 801, 805, and then we have a footprint of how to address the casket.
Oh, and can I add something to that? My own personal opinion, it's not just Mr. Limberg. In the meeting that we had before this contract was signed, it was Inga Carus that I had to sit and listen to. So let's not misunderstand that they could have fixed this anytime they wanted. They have the money to repair their factory. We had to fight for the insurance money, for our fire department losses. We had to wait on that stuff. It's not the way you do business. It's time for us to act. So I agree with the mayor 100%.